Hey everybody, welcome back. Sandra here. Glad y'all are joining me again today. I appreciate it. Today is the 12th of July, and so I just wanted to give everybody an update on how the last 24 hours has gone for me. I'm going to try today to look at the actual camera and not at my face so that I'm not staring off to the side and it looks funny. Okay, so first of all, yesterday morning I weighed 113.6, and this morning at 7 I weighed 112 even. That's the first thing. My blood pressure this morning was 104/70, and my pulse, and remember I do have bradycardia, my pulse is normally 45. This morning it was 53. So that's the first thing. I wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way. And right now, if it's on the half hour, pretty much on the half hour right now, and I'm counting this as starting on Friday night at 10 p.m. is when I began my fast. So I'm now 163 and a half hours into my fast, which is like 7 days. My plan is to at least make it 14. And if at that time the doctors and I decide that everything is fine, then I will maybe continue on a few more days. If I'm seeing progress in the areas that I'm looking for that are visible, then I will probably continue on. Again, I'm feeling very self-conscious about no makeup, no mascara, no foundation, no lipstick, no product in my hair. I did brush my hair, I promise, but there's no product in my hair. And so I just wash with the very gentle shampoo that they have in the bathroom. And, I don't do anything else. So sorry about that, how I look. Last night was really weird. I went to bed, I was tired when I would lay down, and it was like suddenly, boom, I was wide awake. And I was awake for hours. I just lay there for hours. And so finally at 2, I'm like, there's no point in me just laying here. So I got up and I came out here to the couch that I like the most over here. And I just watched TV on my phone until the sun came up at 6. I may have slept a little bit, but I don't think so. I tried to listen to podcasts. I watched some shows. I've gotten a little bit of sleep today to make up for it, but really not very much. So it's just been kind of a bizarre, thing. But here's the most bizarre part. I've had more energy today than I've had any day so far. That is so weird, considering that I didn't sleep last night. In my opinion, I think that's kind of weird. And so the next thing is that the only visible change that I have noticed so far is, I'll try to show it to you, but I don't know if I can show you. See that spot right there? I don't know if I can get that in focus or not. See if I can get that in focus. There, see that right there? Okay, oof. I've been looking at that up close. I've always thought it was psoriasis, and it might be precancer. But I used to have an even larger circle right next to it, and after I became a nutritarian, it went away. So it's not even there anymore, and I still have that smaller one. But the change that I've noticed, not that the base around on my skin has gotten any smaller, but the flakiness has pretty much gone away, because it has been had the flaky skin, and psoriasis is where you have a buildup of excess skin that builds up. So I always thought and I had another doctor a long time ago tell me it was psoriasis. So, but the flakiness is gone, but the base is still there, and I'm hoping that the absence of the flakes will mean the beginning of the end for the base, and that now for this second week, because today I'm wrapping up day 7, wrapping up week number 1, I'm hoping that in week number 2 that it will start getting smaller. The base will get smaller. And some of these other smaller areas that I have, over on this hand will. This has not really, in my opinion, has not changed. That's just my personal opinion, that it has not changed any. So, but maybe here in week 2, I'll have a breakthrough. We'll see. All right, so moving on. Well, technically, I can go up to 21 days with this, with a 4-day refeed before it's time for me to go home. So if I'm still feeling fine, relatively speaking fine, fasting fine, then I might continue it on a few more days to see if there is more progress on any of those spots. Okay, so today I got to talk on the phone to my friend Harry about baseball and the All-Star game the other night. I got to talk to my son Devin to make sure that he's taking good care of the cats, Nala and Freddie, and to my very dear friend Carolyn, hi Luis, in Indiana to catch up on stuff. And these 3 conversations totally lifted my spirits. It was awesome to be able to talk to friends and family when somebody is fasting. Their connections with friends and family is very important. So if you're my friend and you have my cell phone number, please feel free to give me a call, because I really appreciate the connections, okay? Or if you're my friend and you don't have my cell phone number yet, hit me up, all right? Because it's a long week without the connections with home. So it really does lift our spirits to be able. They have a visitors day on Sundays as visiting time, but I don't have anybody here in Puerto Rico that's going to come visit me. So, I'm just relying on phone calls with friends and family while I'm here. And I want you to think of it like this: when you're in a fasting clinic, this becomes your world, and your world is very, very small. So here's my world. It's that bedroom in there with 3 bunk beds and a bathroom. It's this little patio right here. It's that little side walkway over there. Very narrow but very flowery. We bump the flowers as we walk down the walkway to the backyard. And it's the backyard. That is our world while we're here for the entire time. So for me, 25 days, this is my world. We don't go to the front yard. We don't walk into the street. We do not leave the premises. We don't go into their home. This is our world. So I will say, let's see here what I wanted to say, was that, like I said, the conversations with our friends and family are very important because, they help expand our world a little bit to be able to talk to our friends and family on the phone. Now, regarding that backyard back there, my grass in my yard at home is dry and crackly and full of twigs, and I may even have some sand spurs, and it is in dead leaves, and there's visible dirt, and I have very tender feet. The bottom of my feet are super tender, and I would never dream of walking in my yard barefoot because it hurts, because my feet are tender. But I can walk back there. That grass is so incredibly soft that and you can't even see dirt. The grass is so thick that I can walk back there without shoes on. In fact, I haven't put my sandals on in 5 days. That's not me. I literally have not put my sandals on in 5 days since I've been here. I'm fine here walking without my sandals. I walk down that path. I go to the backyard, soft grass. I do laps back there, absolutely no problem. And that has been really nice to be able to do that. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, and now I would like to talk about some things that I've learned in the past 24 hours since my last video. First, last night when I was outside, Dr. Asa came out, and because they come and they check you twice a day. So yesterday, Dr. Asa came to do the evening check, and we chatted a little bit, and I told him about my 3 favorite books to help end addictions, which would be Salt, Sugar, Fat by Michael Moss will help greatly help to end your addiction to packaged foods. And the book called The End of Overeating will help to end your love of eating out in restaurants. It will just turn you on to what's really going on, and then you're going to be more hesitant to eat out in restaurants. And then the book, The Coke Machine. If you have an addiction to soft drinks, that book, The Coke Machine, is going to make you hate the Coca-Cola company with a passion. In fact, after I read it, I have Coca-Cola memorabilia and stuff all in my house because the color red that Coca-Cola uses is my favorite shade of red, and red's my favorite color. So I have Coca-Cola stuff in my kitchen and that kind of thing. But that book has really almost made me want to get rid of all of my Coca-Cola stuff in my house. Because of how heinous that company has been since its beginnings, even murder. So read the book, The Coke Machine. If you still have an addiction to soft drinks, read the book, The Coke Machine. But anyway, I told him about those 3 books, and then one of the things that he told me last night that I wanted to share with you was that there are 3 indications that it is time. There are probably more, but the 3 most important ones that he mentioned that it's time to end a water fast. Number 1 is if your potassium drops below the safety level. And we every Monday we load up and go to the lab, and we have our blood work done, and then by Tuesday he knows our levels, and potassium is one of them. And so if your potassium level drops a certain amount, he will end the fast. Number 2 is ketones. Every Monday he has his pee in a cup, they have his pee in a cup, and they check the ketones in our urine. And so if we're in ketosis, that's awesome, that's the point. But if the ketones drop, that means, and you haven't eaten anything, okay, that means that your body has stopped eating fat for its sustenance, and it's now eating muscle. If your fat drops below, I think it's 5%, then your body will begin to consume the muscle tissue. So if the ketones are there, that means that it's eating fat. If the ketones begin to drop, that means it's transitioning over to eating muscle. So if the ketones lower, it's time to end the fast, because he doesn't want people, they're eating their own muscle. The third thing is if you start vomiting and you can't hold your water down, your 60 ounces a day of water. That would be the third indication that it's time to end the fast. So those are the 3 things that he mentioned. But he said that in the time that he and Dr. Joana have had their water fasting clinic, they've never encountered any of those in any of their residents. Okay, what did I learn from Dr. Joana today? This morning when Dr. Joana came in to check us, one question that we had was about constipation. And let me just tell you that constipation is extremely common when you're water fasting, because if you think about it, you're not adding more food in there to push out the existing, the food at the bottom of the canal, of the intestines. So it doesn't have as much of an incentive to come on out. And the longer feces sits in your intestines, the more your body pulls water out of it. So it does naturally become dry. And she said that what I told her was that I had walked 12 times yesterday, thinking, sometimes that'll make your bowels move when you get out and exercise a little bit. And I told her I walked kind of fast yesterday. She goes, you don't need to, the walking is good for other things, but you don't need to do that for getting your bowels to move, especially the fast part. You're not here to do aerobics and stuff. So she said the best way to do it, I'm going to see if I can explain this to you without actually showing you, since I got my phone sitting here up right now on 5 books and propped up so I don't have to hold it. She said you sit either cross-legged on the floor, like for yoga, or sit in your chair if you need to. For me, I'll probably do it in a chair because I have a hard time sitting cross-legged on the floor. So you sit down, and then you breathe in and breathe out the whole time. You're breathing in and breathe out, and then you take your fingers and you gently press in at the bottom of your abdomen over, like on the right side. You push in and you bend forward. Okay, you bend over, and then you're breathing still in and out slowly, and then you come back up. Okay, then you move your fingertips over like an inch, and you repeat the process. You gently, not hard, like a massage, you gently push in and you bend forward, breathe in, breathe out, and then you sit back up. Then you move your fingers over again another inch. And what you do is you start, like if you're starting on the right, you go all the way across, and then you make an oval, and you come all the way back over, and each time you push in, and then you bend forward, and then you come back up, move your fingers over another inch. So that will help a lot to kind of massage those lower intestines. It's massaging and kind of getting the movement going in those lower intestines. So that is one of the best ways to get the process going of elimination. She also said that frequently their residents get very, very frustrated and impatient with their constipation, and so they'll sit in the bathroom long periods of time trying to push. That's a bad idea. That causes stress all over your body. And she also mentioned some other ways that people have been very desperate and tried to, I won't even tell you, but don't do any of that. Just relax. Let it happen when it happens. And it'll happen. And then, but just relax about it. And just try that method of the bending over and back up and pushing in gently on your lower intestines in an oval manner. Okay? All right, so that is one thing that she taught us this morning was about constipation. And then also keep in mind, if you've had years of eating the standard American diet and you're coming into a fast from the standard American diet, you're going to have lots of old feces clinging to your colon. And when it starts coming out, the really old stuff, it's going to be disgusting. It's going to be really, really bad. That is if you're coming off the SAD. If you're coming, if you've been following a healthy, whole food, plant-based plan for a while with lots of fiber, then probably most of that has come out. And so when you begin a fast, it won't be that bad. You may be constant. I've been constipated, and I've been following this plan now since 2015. I have experienced some constipation, but it hasn't been that bad. Okay, and actually, if you've ever had a colonoscopy, you've already had your intestines completely cleaned out anyway from a colonoscopy. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about, that's the last thing. I'm so sorry, I'm just thirsty. This is just my second bottle today, and I still have one to go to get my 60 ounces. So I haven't even wrapped up 40 yet, but when you talk, you get thirsty, and I'm super thirsty, so excuse me. So this morning we were blessed with a visit from a local yoga instructor named Alma, and it was marvelous. It was a very gentle yoga session, and even the word Alma means soul in Spanish, and you could tell that Alma had a lot of soul. She was very in touch with the universe, with herself, very much in touch with us. And it was just really a delightful. I mean, it was tough. We were tired. It was just me and Naida, and we were tired, but we enjoyed the session. It was very gentle. She spoke only in Spanish, but she spoke slowly and gently enough that there was very little that I missed of her presentation and her class. I wish that I was recording it because she said so many good things. But because I was just participating and not recording it, I can only remember. I'm not good at remembering spoken things. I'm better at if I write things down, or read things, or hear things more than once. But I got a little bit out of it that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so she had this great analogy. Imagine a pinball machine, and when you release the ball, and the ball goes up, and then it starts coming down. It goes ping, 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 like that as it's coming down before it goes through the chute. Imagine the ball is your body, and imagine every time it hits ping, ping, those are those little pains that we start feeling as we age. The little tweak when we bend over to one side, we're like, ooh, ooh. Or if we twist a little bit, we're like, ooh, or like a little pain in my back, a little pinch in my back or my neck. Those are the pings that the ball is experiencing in the pinball machine before it hits the chute. And the goal is to eliminate those pings so that when you bend, you don't feel pain. When you twist, you don't feel pain. When you turn your neck, you don't feel pain. When you lift an arm, you don't feel pain. And yoga can help. Yoga, stretching can really help to gradually eliminate those pains with continued gentle stretching. So I really, really appreciated her analogy with that. Okay, so yoga should not be, this was the second thing she said, which really hit home. Yoga should not be considered like a battle with our bodies. Instead, we should enjoy it, and we should not make it super painful for us. So as you're holding a pose, when you get into a pose, you ask yourself, what part of my body is thinking right now, this is nice? And what part of my body is thinking, ouch, this is painful? So get in touch with the parts that feel really good, and the parts that are feeling painful as you are experimenting with different yoga poses. And if you stick with it, you will eventually get to the point where your aches and pains start disappearing. And then one day you're like, you bend, and it's like, where'd that pain go that I always have? You twist, and you're like, I'm not feeling it anymore. You lift your arm up, and the shoulder pain's gone. So if you stick with it, that's what's going to happen with gentle yoga that you enjoy, stretching. So our new roommate, Luis, came this afternoon, and he is also Puerto Rican. And so the three of us, Naida, Luis, and I, have spent some time getting to know each other this afternoon, talking about whole food plant-based living and why we're all here, and it's been very, very enjoyable. But since I had enjoyable time, spent time talking with them, and I've spent some time resting today, I did not prepare anything else. I'm not ready to talk about any more of Dr. Williams' interview today, but I felt like these 3 points from Dr. Asa, Dr. Joana, and the wonderful Alma, which we will get to meet again next Friday. She comes every Friday. That would be enough for today. I'm already at 23 minutes, I see. So I'm going to end it there and get some more rest for the afternoon. These videos, in all honesty, are kind of taking it out of me, but I'm committed to continue this until I end the fast. And probably what I'm going to do is when I end the fast, then I'm going to not make daily videos anymore, but just go back to weekly like most people do, make weekly videos. And then I'm going to start focusing on my secondary reason for choosing Puerto Rico, which was to enhance my Puerto Rican dialect. And, because as I talk to them, I don't have the energy to sit down and take notes on the words that I don't know, whether it's a word they use or a word I need to say, and then they have to tell me the word. Like I didn't know the word cyst the other day. So I will, when I am doing the refeed, I'm going to focus more on that. And I'll have the energy to do it because I'll be eating. But for now, my goal is to make it through the day, just make it through the day with my rest and my water and, not eating, which is not hard to do since there's nothing to eat, and to do this video every day. And not only talk about myself, but like I said yesterday, to have a little something extra to say. And I thought that the information from these 3 wonderful people would be good for today. So that's all I have for today. I hope y'all can get something out of this today. And like I said, you don't have to watch it. You can just listen. When I get home, I have a plan on starting to do some recipes, so at that point you might want to watch. But for now, while I'm here, there's no point in you watching me. Just turn it on, put the phone down, get your dishes done, fold a load of laundry, drive somewhere, whatever you're doing, water the plants, and you don't have to watch me. You can just listen. I love YouTube videos like that where I don't have to actually sit and focus on watching them. I can be productive and get other things done. So while I'm here, that's all you have to really do. While I'm doing this. Okay, that's all I got for today, and thank you guys so much for watching. So would you do this? Would you click like and also subscribe if you haven't already? And one other thing, hit that little bell icon, and that way, because I'm trying to do this every day, but that way you'll get the notification when I upload my next video. So thanks again, and you guys have a great day. Okay, bye.